Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is 3 p.m. here in Chicago, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Thursday, March 18th, 2021, and it's happy hour today because it is Thursday. We made it through almost the end of the week, and it's a reason to celebrate. Hopefully, I'm sounding okay, guys. I don't have my headphones on today, so I think the sound is going to be good, but hopefully it's sounding all right for everybody. I actually just broke my set of headphones. I haven't had them that long, but these are the ones that I've been using for all kind of like live streams and Zoom calls and stuff. And I used them earlier today. I had a meeting today, and then I put them away. And then when I went to come pick them back up, they're broken. So like this part just kind of like broke. So that's disappointing. I mean, they kind of fit, but then, I tried putting them back on, but they don't work. So I have to be getting another pair of something, so we'll figure something out. Today, I didn't know what to drink today. I brought two different things. I was pretty excited about each of these things. I mentioned the other day that I was on the Science and Sport website looking up stuff, so I forgot that I actually bought something that day. I bought the Science and Sports Rego, which is rapid recovery sport recovery supplement. So it's got protein and carbohydrates in it, plus vitamins and electrolytes. The idea for it being a recovery drink after your workouts. I've been enjoying a variety of different recovery drinks, so like immediately after your workout drinks. And most of them are low sugar, but this one has sugar in it. So I thought I'd give it a try. It's a little bit different. It's chocolate flavor. And the other one I thought, I didn't know if this is new or not, but it's new to me. I didn't know that he may have made this. But I was looking at kind of Noon alternatives or just other products like Noon, which are kind of just like electrolyte replenishment drinks that are lower sugar. And this is lower sugar. So this is one of the ones that I picked up as well. So I'll let you guys pick which one we go to today. If you guys feel strong about them one name one way or the other, let me know. But also, let me know what you guys are drinking. You guys are drinking, Leona's got some green tea. Terrence coming in with a coffee porter. That sounds delicious. Actually, today would be perfect weather for it. It's bright out, but there's a chill in the air. So like that for me, it's coffee porter weather. I like it. All right. Ooh, Scotty B says, hey, y'all, just got my vax. In the waiting room for 15 minutes after and watching Go. Whoa, that's awesome, Scotty. I'm really happy for you. I'm also feeling very excited because they announced it. Well, at least it's a little bit tricky, but it's a move in the right direction. Good news. The state of Illinois, the governor announced that he's going to be opening up vaccines to everyone 16 and older starting April 12th. So that's amazing. I feel like that's like a couple of days from now, it feels like. So I'm really excited about that. The twist on that is Chicago does things a little bit differently. We get our supply a little bit different, apparently. We get stuff are differently allocated directly from the federal government. We don't get it like from the state of Illinois' kind of stockpile. So I think we're going to be a little bit behind, but hopefully that puts pressure to open things up so that way the eligibility can be pretty much open to all adults soon. So that's good news today. That's got me in a good mood. All right, what else is everybody drinking? Brett's got some Noon Sport Fresh Lime. Oh, that's a flavor I haven't tried before. And Mark says he's got some decaf coffee. All right. Cool. Innes said he had 4 miles with Pip after work and then a walk along the beach with the family and dogs to see the sunset. That's a nice day. That's a real nice day. Awesome, Innes. All right. Yeah, Vegan Runner wants to know, the Huma products are usually chia-based, right? There's Huma gels and there's Huma Chia, but I thought the company was called Huma Chia. But this is just called Huma for the hydration. So I think that's kind of like their main thing is chia-based products. There is not any chia in this one. So for the Huma product, it's citric acid, dextrose, natural flavor, malic acid, stevia extract, beetroot for color, calcium, silicate, and silica. Every time I see silica in like an ingredient list, I think of those packets that you're not supposed to eat that come in like electronics. And also if you eat like Korean seaweed, it comes in those packs too. So like that's what I think about when I think of silica. And I'm like, oh, should I really be ingesting that? Yeah. So, all right. Yeah, JC's just got water for today. And yeah, cool. Scott's got Hammer, Nutrition, Heed, Lemon Lime. Hammer. I was looking up Hammer stuff. They don't sell Hammer on Amazon. That's like my favorite way to kind of like search for this stuff and buy it. So like, maybe I need to pick up some Hammer. I'm thinking when I can go back to a running store, that's maybe else, because they usually are pretty well stocked in running stores for the Hammer stuff. So maybe that's when I'll pick it then. Yeah, and Martha says the silica packs come in some pill bottles so you absorb humidity. Yeah, oh yeah, I've seen that before too. Brendan says, I'm having an Americano in preparation to head into the work site to test software. Excellent way to spend a Thursday night, right? LOL. Ooh, well, hopefully it's not a long night for you, Brendan. Hopefully it's just uneventful and everything just goes smoothly. All right. Yeah, Scott says, buy Hammer at Roadrunner Sports. Yeah, that's like they always have a good variety of Hammer products there. So I haven't been into the Roadrunner store, like the Chicago one, in a long time. I look forward to going back. All right. Chris Dyke says, Huma Chia are absolute best. Took the lemonade on my run the other day and it went down smooth. Yeah, the strawberry lemon. Is there just a regular lemonade one? The one that I have is the Huma Chia. It's like a strawberry lemonade flavor. It's almost like fizzy when you eat it. It's tasty. I like that one. And Chris Dyke says, I think I'll make a strawberry matcha latte. That sounds nice. I don't think I've ever had matcha before. It's another thing that I might have to try. And Ben Browning's got a quadruple espresso. 16-8 fasting till lunch as usual. Oh, okay. I see. Awesome. But a quadruple espresso, that seems like a lot. That also seems like a fun drink. All right. And Pano says, getting the vaccine next month. I'm really happy for you. Here in France, we're looking at early summer. Oh, okay. For someone getting the vaccine next month, I'm really happy for you. In France, they're looking at early summer for his age group, 42. That's my age as well. And that's what we thought we were getting too. But I know over in Europe, you guys are having some issues with the AstraZeneca. So hopefully that is something that can get ironed out and that you guys can pick up the pace for vaccinations. So that way we can all have a good summer. That's what I'm hoping for. All right. And Greg, what's going on, Greg? Says, matcha man. Awesome. All right. I think that I'm going to go with the Huma, the hydration, because I still have a lot of that Transparent Labs protein powder, and we still have the OWYN protein powder for today. And a couple of you guys seem to be more curious about the Huma stuff. So we'll go with that. I actually brought a knife today. See, I have a pocket knife. My in-laws got it for me for Christmas a couple of years ago, I think. So we got that. I, of course, still can't open it, even though I've got that on there. I put the knife away too soon. Martha is saying, yes, matcha is green tea in powder form, which they use for tea ceremonies in Japan. Oh, interesting. I just saw, I always talk about Instagram ads are like the most effective way to get me to buy anything. And I saw an Instagram ad, like a story for it's like a set. You buy like a tub of powder, like matcha green tea powder, and it has one of those little mixers that has like the little wire and the little round thing on the bottom. And it whirs in and blends it up real fast. And I was like, oh, that looks good. And then they poured like some oat milk or something like that in it. I was like, that looks really nice. I could go for some of that. It looked tasty. I've never had like green tea with like a milk in it before, other than like, I guess like green tea ice cream is kind of that. All right. It's got so many layers of protection here. It was sealed on the outside, sealed on the inside. I almost just cut myself there. All right. Now the color of this is like, let's see if we can get color on that. Ooh, it's too bright. I'm overexposed today. So, but it's like a purpley color. Let's turn that down a little bit. No. Sorry, guys. There. All right. And it says, this is the tiniest scoop. Look at this scoop. It's so small. So one scoop with 16 ounces of water. And enjoy. All right. I got some water in here. And you know what, though? I didn't bring a lid for this jar. So I'm not going to be able to stir it very well. You know what I'll have to do? I'll just use my pocket knife for that. Which is not a great idea because this is the pocket knife that I use to open packages. So it's like covered in like tape residue and all sorts of stuff, but at least it'll get it mixed. All right. Color looks nice. There's already a little nugget of powder formed at the bottom, but I think it'll give me an idea of what it's like. But cheers to you guys. Happy Thursday. The flavor is raspberry lemonade. I gotta tell you, that's tasty. That's a very tasty drink. Not as sour as I would expect from something that's flavored raspberry lemonade. I get to work on the focus here. But really good. I like this. As far as nutritional information, 10 calories, 2 grams of carbs, 24 milligrams of vitamin C, 25 milligrams of calcium, which is only 2% of the daily value, so a negligible amount, I guess. 40 milligrams of magnesium and 380 milligrams of sodium. So like basically it's just a vitamin C and salt drink, pretty much. But it is tasty and it has helping me to drink more liquid. So there you go. All right. Chris Dyke says, just noticed my recent purchases are Huma Chia Plus gels, the strawberry lemonade, chocolate raspberry, berries, and pomegranate. Now I'm craving a Huma gel. Yeah, that strawberry lemonade, that's my flavor. That's my favorite one. That's probably one of my favorite gels to have. It's got like, I wish it had like a little bit more of caffeine. I wish it had like a little bit more of salt, but like it has a good number of everything and the taste is good. The size isn't too big, so I'm a big fan of that one. All right. Let's see. We got Javier V saying, would you say the Ride 13 is good for a 5K runner? And it looks like, yeah, Danny J says the Ride 13 wouldn't be good for a 5K, like a race, but it would be good for easy days during training. And I would definitely agree with that. For a race, I think the Ride 13 might feel a little bit unexciting, but it's definitely going to be a solid workhorse for you for most of your training. So that's how kind of where I would put it. Yeah, Jeff Elliott says that looks good. I think I might be dehydrated. It is good. The color is nice. It's an inviting flavor. Oh, by the way, speaking of like fun colors and inviting drinks, I looked up that G Fuel or whatever we were talking about yesterday. And do you guys know what that is? It is a drink that's designed for sports and esports. So think like noon slash, I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, noon slash like Monster Energy drink. It's like somewhere in the, like if those two like worlds combined. So the flavors are like their flavors look like the candy aisle in a convenience store. So they're interesting flavors. I ended up not buying any because I was like, I don't know if this is really for me. But it was very interesting. I didn't know that they were making sport drinks for esports. So I was like, but I mean, like, I guess like if you're thinking about it, yeah, you would. I could see that being a demographic that would be consuming a lot of interesting beverages. So yeah, that was interesting. I don't know if it's for me, but let me know if any of you guys have tried it. All right. Terry Furlong says, Great Britain vaccination super slick here. Injected out in 5 more bites. No queuing. Great job by NHS. Well, that's good. Very cool. Scotty B says, can we get a cowbell for Kerry? He's mid Goggins challenge. Awesome. Go for it, Kerry. Ooh, how far is he into it? Is he here? He's not in here, is he? All right. Lewis says, yo, what's going on? Tijuana is starting the vaccine next week. Not his age group, but it's a start. Yeah, it's a start. The way I see it is, I get excited for every new age group, every new sector that they open it up to, because the more people that get to go, the faster you go, the faster I go. That's kind of how I see it. So I'm always excited to hear about more people getting the vaccine. All right. Leona says, feeling like you are super ready for your Shamrock Shuffle. Do you think you're overall faster now than before or about the same? Thanks. I feel like I'm ready. I took a rest day today, guys. Or I'm still so far resting today. It just got real nice out though. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'll go out for a little bit. But I think I'm gonna just leave it as a rest day today. And I feel ready. I'm probably gonna run tomorrow, but then I'll take another rest day on Saturday and then go Sunday. Or maybe depending on how I'm feeling, maybe I'll just go ahead and do it on Saturday. I'm not sure. I think that I'm anticipating a good time. My current like PR or PB for the 8K is like right just under 32 minutes. It's 31:59, and I ran that in 2019 without training. So I was just kind of like, I think I was in the middle of a work job, so I wasn't getting much sleep, and I signed up for the race kind of last minute. I thought I would just do it. And so it was relatively nice weather. And I had been running, it was not like I wasn't running, but I wasn't like training for it. This time I actually trained for the distance. And so I'm hoping for a better result. Keeping in mind that I feel like that first time when I hit a 31:59, I was very surprised with myself and kind of like didn't really know where it came from. So I think that I'm faster than that now, though. I feel stronger than that now, for sure. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good. All right. Let's see. Let me take this comment off real quick. One other thing that I can talk about is... There we go. Okay. I'm also going to do a little unboxing today because I got this package in. It was supposed to arrive Tuesday, and then it was supposed to arrive Wednesday. It finally arrived today. It's from Puma. So those have finally arrived. I did buy these myself, like the first day that they were available in the US. I ordered some. I wasn't sure which one I was going to go with, but I ended up going with... It's a nice box. I haven't seen this kind of box in a really long time. I gotta tell you. I went with... I already told you guys that. The Deviate Nitro. Wow. This is a very bright shoe. Let's see if we can fix the white balance on this. Yeah. Do this. There we go. It's just glowing. See that? The shoes are just like glows. But yeah, very, this is yellow, right? Yellow Alert Puma Black. That's the color for this. But yeah, it's a very yellow shoe. I mean, I know there's stuff in it, but like so far it feels like a little bit heavier than I was expecting. But, it's not the racer. It's meant to, it does have a plate in here. But it's supposed to be more of your daily trainer max cushion with a plate, right? Am I understanding that right? And then it's got this weird plastic thing out the back. The foam feels like a nitro foam. Feels like maybe a little bit softer. I don't know. You can't tell by squeezing it. But this upper is definitely reminding me a lot of the Peg Turbo. The Peg Turbo 2. Like the way that this part is designed here. And then there's a couple of pads, bumper pads back here. Definitely reminding me, like, look, like if I cover this, you would think that this is a Nike Turbo 2. But it's not. It's a Puma. Turbo 2, Deviate Nitro. Turbo 2, Deviate Nitro. So this is interesting. And this outsole pattern reminds me of the CTM Ultra Carbon. I'm not saying that there's like they're copying, but like just reminiscent of other shoes that I've very recently run in. Interesting. So I'm pretty excited for this. This upper seems nicer than what I was expecting. This looks real nice. Okay, so we'll get that filmed, and I'll probably take them out for a test drive tomorrow. All right. Yeah, Ben Browning says, is a Zoom Fly Flyknit on a budget? Yeah, I don't know. So like, we read the description together the other day in Name That Shoe. And so, it's kind of hard to pick out what from their description what it is. And I've seen some other reviews of the shoe. I've tried not to consume too much of that so I can get my take on it. But maybe it's a Zoom Fly Flyknit on a budget, but I'm kind of hoping that what it is like a running company's attempt to use carbon in a non-racing application. Now I know that like the TC is kind of that from New Balance, and like the Carbon X2 is kind of that, but you know, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what these are like. Yeah. Ben Y telling Jana, don't stare directly at it. It's a very bright shoe. It was really bright. Yeah. Lucas H says that Puma is interesting. Loud color, but understated design. I like it. Yeah, I'm liking it. It seems weird that really bright yellow shoe came in a very red box, but you know, I'm okay with it either way. Martha says you guys need Eclipse classes for those shoes. They are bright. Yeah, but you know, I felt like I've seen a lot of the red one around, and I'm not a huge fan of red shoes, you know. So I thought like yellow shoes, I do like a good yellow shoe. So we'll see. Chris Dyke says, Mike, I heard you mention the 4% Vaporflies the other day, and if they're still available. Somehow they were at the Nike outlet in Vancouver, and I picked them up for 150 Canadian. What? That is a great deal. Wow. That's a really great deal. I wonder if there's any resale value in that. Trying to pick them up, and like if you tried to sell them on StockX, you can try to flip them. And Martha says that yellow is still the color of a green banana. It looks bright tennis ball yellow to me. And so that usually tells me that it might have a hint of yellow in it. But it says on the side of the box, the colorway official name is Yellow Alert and Puma Black. So I'm going to call it yellow. And Martha says those red ones are also orange to me. Yeah, a lot of the red this year for 2021 shoes seems to have a little bit orange in it. It reminds me very much of the Hoka Carbon X2 red, which seems like almost like a burnt kind of red, you know, red with like a dark orange to it. So I'll agree with you on that. The rest, my eyes are just going crazy and not seeing the same thing. 80 wants to know, is that Puma a glow-in-the-dark shoe? I don't think it's supposed to be, but it's very bright. Definitely very, very bright. Terry Furlong says, it's a don't park your car in my feet kind of yellow. Yeah. But yeah, it's I'm looking forward to it, seeing what the hype's all about. I mean, I'm really rooting for the shoe. You know, I know a lot of people, reviewers are kind of like, you know, I try to go into it neutral and try not to have any like ideas about the shoe. I mean, I think that's impossible, but I understand like kind of the inclination there. But I got to say, like, I'm rooting for Puma. I like what they're doing. I like their approach, and it's exciting. And you know, it's always good to have another entrant into the field. So hopefully, it's a good shoe. Chris Dyke says, at that outlet, they also had the Peg Turbo 2s for 130, but my current rotation for speed shoes is close to max capacity. Yeah, the Peg Turbo 2s at 130, not quite as big of a discount as 4% at 150. But I mean, I'm surprised that the outlet even had Peg Turbo 2s, because I just feel like it's still such a popular shoe. I still see people wearing that out now, like right now, as I'm you know, out there along the lakefront. So it's still a very common shoe to see for me. Martha says, I can't decide whether to be more interested in the Under Armour Flow Velocity or one of the lighter Pumas. Yeah, you know, there's a runner on Instagram. It's like Maximilian Panic. If you're watching Instagram reels of people running, you've probably seen this guy. And he's been doing a lot of really fast running. The younger guy in the the Under Armour Velocity. And that has me thinking like, oh, maybe I'll try it. If that guy can run fast in it, then maybe I can. I mean, I know that's not how it works, but it does have me like my attention that he's running in those. So I'm like very interested in that. I'd like to see if Morgan McDonald, the Under Armour sponsored miler, to run in him. I know he's injured right now, but I mean, not that I need like proof that he's running in it, but like, it'd be good to see like he has a YouTube channel and he's filming himself running a lot. I'd like to see him run in it, get his take on it. I mean, it's not like he's going to say something bad about it, but yeah, I'd like to see what his kind of interpretation of it is. But it's something that's pretty interesting to me. So I have a feeling I'll probably end up getting that relatively soon. We'll see. I'm not sure. There's a lot on my list right now. So I actually probably need to sit down and think about what I want to get, because I can only run so many miles, but a lot of exciting shoes this year. Ted and Ruth wants to know, when was your previous last rest day, Co? You don't have any. I don't have many. My last rest day was like when we came back to Chicago. I don't know when that was. That was sometime at like the end of January. So it's been like a month and a half, maybe. What is it? Yeah, 2 months, maybe. Less than 2 months. But yeah, that's the day that I drove back and forth twice, just to try to make all the trips in one day and minimize kind of like crossing state lines a whole bunch of times. So that was that. But that was my last rest day. So I'll do a rest day today, probably run a little bit tomorrow, and then another rest day Saturday. Maybe. I have a feel I'm looking at the weather, and Sunday's supposed to be the warmer day, but I have a feeling Sunday might be warmer but windier. So I'm going to pick whichever days. The cold doesn't really matter to me. I was going to say the cold doesn't bother me anyway, but I was going to unironically say that. But the difference isn't going to be that big, but the wind I think will annoy me a lot. So I'm going to try and figure out which day is going to be warmer and go with that. Not warmer, less windy. Sorry. My mind is a little bit out of it today. What this Huma drink, which is very tasty and is going down very smooth, doesn't have is caffeine, which I was actually looking for one that didn't have caffeine, because the noon tablets that I like all have caffeine in them. So I've been trying to cut back on like the later afternoon caffeine drinks. So this is something that like I've been looking for a product just like this. This is pretty good. I kind of wish though that there was something like a little bit more to it in here. I mean, there's a little bit of magnesium, 2% daily value of potassium, so I would have preferred if there was like a little bit more something in it. But then again, I don't need like a multivitamin. It's just something that tastes interesting, encourages me to drink more fluid, and then, tops up electrolytes. So I think it'll do the job. Blixton, I've been saying this for a long time, and I really think that Altra needs to do it. Yeah. Blixton says, why doesn't Altra make 1 or 2 pairs with like 5mm drop? Don't they want to make a lot more money? Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of it, but I think what they need to do is like, it's a better way of like introducing people to the brand and then retaining people in the brand, right? And so, if you got people that are coming from like Nike shoes, Adidas shoes, 8mm drop, 10mm drop, 12mm drop, that are interested in Altra, and invariably at some point, like for me, I made the transition and it was fine. I didn't need like weeks and months of training, but I feel like most people that have gone through that same cycle have had someone tell them, whether they listen to them or not, but they probably have had someone tell them very seriously, you got to be careful because you're going to get hurt. It takes 500 or 600 miles of transitioning to zero drop before you can really do it without hurting yourself. And I was just like 500 or 600 miles. So I got to buy 2 pairs or run in 2 pairs of the shoes before I like them. Like it doesn't even make sense to me. Yeah, so that's what people say all the time. So I feel like to satisfy those people or to make it less intimidating, I feel like they should make it like an Altra like transition. I think you should just call it the transition, or like the Altra intermediate, or some sort of word to let them know that this isn't like full on Altra. It's like Altra with training wheels, but it gets you into the foot shaped toe box. It gets you into the Ego foam or the Quantic foam. And it gets you like the floppy heel, which I love. Like it just gets you into all those kind of like ultra like signature features, but not quite yet zero drop. And then after you run once in that shoe, then you could be full ultra. I feel like it makes sense to me. Or they got to do a much better job of like, talking to the crabby old dudes that are like, no. You got to transition. You can't just jump into zero drop. You got to transition. You got to, it's one or the other. But like, I think that leaving it where it is, then what happens is people go to other brands. Like the people that they would have captured are ending up at Hoka, which I don't think is a bad choice, but it's just like, it's limiting their options quite a bit. You've got an eager and curious audience that's getting steered away by your fan base. I think it's just a weird situation to be in. Martha says, Mike, what do you make of Boston 9 coming out in a new summer colorway? And regarding the Under Armour shoe, Ed Bud really likens it to an Adidas Boston kind of shoe. Oh, okay. Interesting. I feel like it's kind of weird that the Boston 9 would come out because, like, I feel like shouldn't it just be 10 by now? But isn't that how it always goes? Like, because the Boston Marathon's usually in April, they don't have, like, it would make sense to me that the Boston should come out every year, like in February or March, but it never does. And so there's always like another new Boston variant. Sorry, I didn't need to use that word. Another like Boston version, but it's not like the next number edition. So like last year, before we had the Boston 9, we had the Boston 8 with Light Strike. Remember that? So that's kind of like what they do all the time. I don't know why they just don't jump up and just make it a 10, but I guess maybe if they could sell units, they're going to find a way to sell units. But like, I don't know. I'm giving up on trying to understand what Adidas is doing or why they do it. Like, I don't know. It must be working because they keep doing it, right? So I don't know. Benoit says, I like the anatomical toe box. Where are more running shoes foot shape by now? It seems like an obvious design flaw. Yeah, I mean, I like the racer. I like being, kind of snug in there, but like, for my like recovery day shoes, I'm thinking, I mean, maybe I'm just getting older, or maybe I've racked up enough mileage at this point where my toes are starting to object to being crammed into a tighter fitting shoe. But like now I am looking more for like, oh, what has more space in there for me today? I'm like, I don't know if I can run in that one today. I need some more space. So I definitely have that. And Blixen says, regarding the Boston 9, it's the last hurrah of the series and type of shoe. Boston 10 is going to be a completely new shoe, for better or worse. B10 Leagues honestly looks amazing to me as a Boston fanatic. Yeah, I haven't seen any recent any more photos lately. I saw a couple shots a while ago, and it does look like a complete redesign. So, I mean, yeah, that it could be a last hurrah. Like, here's your last chance to get it now in case we mess it up. But, I always tell people too at the same time, it's like, I love trying new shoes. But I also completely understand when people buy like 5 pair of the same one because they're worried about how it's going to change the next year. I think it's weird when people do it to something like a Ghost, like people will be like, the Ghost 11 was great. My running buddy loved the Ghost 11. I don't think he's tried the 12 or the 13, but he loved the 11. And he stockpiled a whole bunch of them. And I'm like, they don't really change that shoe from year to year. It's pretty much the same shoe every year. He's like, I like this one. So I'm like, okay, go for it. That's awesome. I can relate to that, not with shoes, but with like restaurants. Some people love going to like new restaurants all the time. I don't. I like going to like the same handful of restaurants over and over. So that's kind of like how I like it. So I can definitely understand like when people want to like have more familiarity with something. And Martha says she agrees about the stocking up. She's stocked up. She's interested in the 10, but it looks more like a long run shoe with so much more cushion. Yeah, it does look a lot taller. So, I mean, I just hope it's not heavy. Because if they make that Boston 9 like come in at like 11 ounces or 10 ounces, like an Ultra Boost, I'm going to be like, what are you doing? You guys ruined this shoe. Yeah, like, I mean, yeah. I don't know. I'm not going to say I wouldn't get it if it comes in super heavy, but I'm going to be really upset it's going to have to be a pretty fantastic shoe if it's really heavy compared to what the Boston 9 is now. Steven says I'm throwing shade at my running. I'm not throwing shade at my running buddy. He right now, well, I mean, the Ghost 11 worked out great for him. And then he's been running in a couple of different pairs of the Beacon 2. He's been liking that. I told him I don't know if he'll like the Beacon 3. I don't know that there's that many changes, but he really likes the Beacon 2, so I'm like, stay with that one. And he's another thing. He prefers having a model that he's familiar with. Oh, Remy says though, still going through my stockpile of Boston 7s and Adios 4s. No regrets. Oh, that's cool. The Adios 4, I felt like the Adios 5 got like even lower to the ground. I don't remember what the numbers were on it, but the Adios 4 did not have a lot of stack height to it. And the Adios 5 seemed like it was even more stripped down, more of a racer feel to it. But I never ran in the 7. I ran in the 8 and the 9. That's my experience with the Bostons. Chris Dyke says, I slightly regret buying 2 pairs of the SL20. One is good. But he majorly regrets buying them both at full retail. Yeah. When the SL20 version 2 came out, I was like, ooh, I'm going to buy that quick, because I wanted to have it. But I was like, no, I'm not going to be able to get to it right away. And by the time I can get to it, I'm pretty sure it's going to be on sale. And it was by the time I got to it. So that's a weird model. But I think most Adidas shoes, depending on like which color, do go on sale, even the Ultra Boost. So it's something to keep in mind. Unless you need it like right then, I don't know that you necessarily need to be paying full price for a Adidas shoe, unless it's something like the Adios Pro. Today I got a notification from like the Adidas app that the Adios Pro was in stock, but like I don't know what the rationale is with that. But I clicked on it, like I saw the thing come down and I clicked on it right away just to see if they still had like size 9s or if there was a different color perhaps. But it was the new like what is it, like a pink color? And they had like a couple of size 5.5s, and that was it. So I'm like, I don't know who they're sending this notification for, but it's not me. Brett Reed says, I feel like the Invincible has 2 different foams in it. The front ZoomX seems much stiffer and responsive, while the back is ultra cushioned. Thoughts? I suppose it could be a difference. I mean, in the back, there's more of it. So that could be affecting it as well. And the front can be feeling stiffer because you're getting more of like a direct feel on it on the ground. And depending on how you're hitting the ground, that can also maybe change what you're experiencing. But, I do think like the way that they shape the foams, in the back, it's got like all those like scallops cut out into it. Like, I think that has some sort of effect. And then the front doesn't have those scallops. So that could be it as well. But I think, a lot of shoes do have that kind of design where if they do use 2 foams, that's kind of how they do it. I think they did change the Ghost a little bit where I don't know if they still do it anymore, but earlier versions of the Ghost, like I remember the Ghost 12, for example, had like a very soft heel for your crash pad. And then the rest of the shoe was a little bit more firm. So I've seen that before. And I think that's what they were doing with the Vomero 15, although I never ran in that one. But I think that could be possible. And I think that there probably can be like a gradient of thickness or density of the foam. I wouldn't be surprised to know that they did that. Like I would be very surprised if you did a biopsy of the midsole of the Invincible, like 1 point like in the heel and then 1 point in the forefoot. I bet if you looked at them under a microscope, they would look different. Maybe I'll have to do that later when I'm done running them. But that's something that I'll have to do. Maybe. I don't think anyone's doing biopsies on their shoes, so that could be something new for the views. I think I saw. Did you guys see this? I think I saw. Was it Running Warehouse? Has I think they started a series on like cutting the shoe. Like I think they're going to start doing it regularly with a lot of shoes now. And I think they were cutting up. It was an endorphin something. I don't know if it was a speed or a pro. But did anyone else see that? Is that going to be a regular thing that they're doing now? I don't know. Jerry Taylor says, my wife has been in causing hysterics for the last 20 minutes due to your unintentional frozen remark. That's funny. We do have frozen on the mind though here. My younger daughter, she will put herself to sleep singing the lullaby from Frozen 2. It's a very pretty song. I really like singing it as well. But the other day we were at the playground and she got into one of those swings, like not the kiddies, not like the baby swing, but they make like the bigger plastic swings that like kind of have like a back to it. I think they're for kids that maybe have some mobility issues, but like regular kids can like sit in them too. And it has like a harness that like goes on top of it. She put herself in that thing and then demanded that I like sing it to her. And I only know like the first like 3 words. So I was like humming it and she fell asleep in like 5 minutes. And then when I would stop singing it, she would start to kind of like move and fidget. So I would just keep singing it and put her in the swing. And then the first time I got that girl to take a nap in like a year and a half. So I was pretty excited about it. So I'm liking that. Remy says, I can't start a trail run these days without humming Lost in the Woods. Maybe one day says, Frozen Lullaby, sing it now, Co, please. No, I'm not going to do any singing. Stevie 76, I think was, you're going to have to get me in the karaoke bar for me to do some singing. Shannon says Nick Simmons cut down his next percent down last year. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have done it. Seth does it from time to time too on some of his shoes, or sometimes they'll just like not rip apart, but like cut apart the shoe. And so that's been interesting to watch too. But I'm always like, I still need to run in this. So like, I'm not going to buy a second pair just to cut it up. So like, I don't, it's interesting, but like lots of other people are doing like the what's inside kind of thing. So like the Invincible, that's a shoe that I am planning on taking to a much longer distance. So like maybe at like 300 miles, I'll cut it open and be like, here's what it looks like on the inside. And then maybe I can get a little smaller sample and put it onto a slide or under a microscope somehow. I don't know if we need to get it into a microscope. Maybe just a macro lens. And Cameron McBride says, I don't know if I trust Connor with power tools. Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I watched it. I'm like, who's cutting this? I wish I would have spent more time to watch it. Kerry Smith says, though, his Invincibles have some early wear in the usual places, but it doesn't seem excessive. So far, I think I'm like 60 miles into mine, 70 miles into mine. It seems fine so far. You know what I did notice, though? The shoe itself is bouncy. Yes, that's like obvious. But like I was picking my shoes up like to move them from like the front door where I'd taken them off into the bedroom to put them away. And I dropped one. And when I dropped it, it hit the floor and it was like, boom, and it bounced right up. And I'm like, do all shoes do that? So then I got like a different pair of shoes. And so like I dropped shoes for a while just to see which ones would bounce. The Fresh Foam More Trail, it has no bounce. It just hits the ground and it sits. But the Invincible, like when it hits the ground, it bounces up like from like, chest height for me, which was, I don't know, like maybe like 4.5, 5 feet. It bounced up to maybe like 3 feet. I didn't measure it. Those are all rough figures, but it was a nice surprise, or a peculiar surprise. Steven76 says he noticed quality control issues during his Invincible unboxing. The ZoomX foam is not properly glued to the heel clip that it's coming off. Oh, that's interesting. People when I always felt like all like running shoes must be like so meticulously made, and that like I didn't believe people for a while when they were like, no, I'm seeing issues. But then I started to actually, like, I never really very, very closely looked at shoes, like how things are glued or adhered together. And there's quite a bit of variability there. It surprised me. I mean, I guess it came to a head with the Turbo 2 and some of like the quality control issues that they had with that one. This is one of those days where I'm just constantly out of focus. Sorry about that, guys. Edmund says, I love to hate my Invincible. Oh man, I'm sorry you're having so much problem with that one. New Betcher says, the bouncing reminds me of those ads for the Peg 37 where they bounce an egg on a Zoom Air Pocket. I'm trying to think, do I remember that? I don't remember that. I'm sure if I see it, I'll be like, oh yeah, I saw that a million times. But I'm not sure I remember that. But Rob says, we should have a new video series, Will It Bounce? I mean, that could be interesting. Because, that's the way that they sell P-backs. So like the Puma company that makes these foams for all the different companies, they will have like these giant, basically like ball bearings or like giant metal marbles, and they'll like drop them on like a square of like Puma foam, or like a square of like EVA foam, or like a square of like marble or granite, just to like compare them and the bounces and stuff. So if you just look up like Puma bouncing, those videos all exist. So that's kind of fun. But I think like taking like just the regular shoe and like dropping it, kind of like how people do the thing with the phone in the case. Like, I dropped this phone from 8 feet high, and will it survive? Like maybe we'll start doing that, and filming it, and then like measuring how high the rebound is. But there's so many variables. It depends on how like exactly it lands. So it'd be funny more than informative, I guess. New Betra says, as far as quality control goes, Asics QC has been consistently excellent in his opinion. Adidas is generally good, and Nike definitely hit and miss. See, I've never really had too much issue with it, but there are some times where I'm like, some of this like paint isn't like lining up exactly right with like the upper, like where the swoosh kind of dives in under the midsole, that kind of stuff. I've noticed a couple of things here and there. Edmund says, the Invincibles are like the friend you go out drinking with that is erratic and could do something really odd or just fall asleep. I mean, I think that's me. They're one of my buddies, my buddy that lives down in Austin. He is the friend that like will either have your back into a fight or will kill you in a fight, and you never really know which one it is. But that's what makes it exciting. I'm only kind of joking. There's some times where I'm like, I don't know where this is going. This could go either way. I've never really been that worried. I'm kind of joking, but yeah. New York 77 says, which shoe do you think is better for a half marathon, the Endorphin Speed or the New Balance 1080? For half marathon, I would go with the Endorphin Speed. I love that shoe. Compared to the New Balance 1080, it's a speedier shoe, but it doesn't strike me as something that I would want for like a fast race. Yeah, but I mean, like, yeah, I think that the Endorphin Speed is going to have plenty of cushion underfoot, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Yeah, CV76 is Kofuzi is a sleepy drunk? ? I mean, I'm just sleepy. I'm pretty much useless after about 8 p.m. And then if you throw like alcohol into the mix, then I just fall. I just go to bed. Like, I'll ghost. I'm really good at that. I'll just go home because I get tired. And then I'm like, I don't want to end up falling asleep. Like literally fall. I'm not passing out at the bar. I'll fall asleep because I'm sleepy. Because I got up at like 4:30. So like I'm always tired. But I'm always sleepy. I'm trying to do better about it. I'm trying to do better about sleep, getting more sleep, getting more better sleep, for recovery purposes and stuff. And just so I could be a more pleasant person to be around, for a variety of reasons. But like, yeah, it's not so much that I'm a bad drunk, but it's just that I'm a very sleepy person. All right. Eric Vensky said he's going to plan on wearing his speeds for his marathon in April. Oh, awesome. That's a good choice. Yeah, it's a good one. I feel like, yeah, that's like the one thing that there's many things that I think we'll never get to see because of how 2020 turned out. But like, I feel like we would have seen a lot of Endorphin Speeds at marathons last year, had last year been like a regular year. I think that would have been like a very, very common marathon racing shoe. I think we'll still see that this year, but like since it's like a year 2 of it, I don't know if we'll quite see as much, but I think we're still going to see a lot of it. Remy says, my buddy was kicked out of a bar once for being sleepy. They thought he was hammered at 4 p.m. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, like bartenders don't like it when you fall asleep in their places. So whether it's just because you're sleepy or not. And so that's, I can understand that. Jeff Elaine says, I was once kicked out of a bar for trying to take a nap and it was not 4 p.m. I think I've been there before. All right. MC1796 says the 3K track event coming up for him, breaking out the dragonflies. Ooh, awesome. That's pretty exciting. I like that idea. I don't know that I would need to try those, but I'm kind of curious. Yeah, but I'm also like, but let me run in some regular spikes first too. Like if I'm going to ever do that test, I'm going to need to buy 2 sets of spikes. But are those hard to get or not? I mean, why are people so riled up about them? I'm not really sure. I mean, I know like the general like stances on it, but like why that one in particular? I don't get it. And Martha says, Mike, I agree that the kind of runner who in the past may have worn something like the glycerins for a marathon might now wear the speeds for the same price, more or less. Yeah, I think so. I think this year the surprise marathon shoe is probably going to be the Invincible. That's my guess. I think we're going to see a lot of that. But you know what? Well, hopefully I'll get to see that in person myself for sure. See if I'm right or wrong. Running Chef says, when in the military, one guy made the mistake of passing out and leaving the door unlocked, and we moved everything out of his room outside the front of the building, including him. That's funny. That's very funny. Yeah, I like antics. And Chrissy T says, isn't the Venom Fly the controversial one? Yeah, but didn't they pull that back? Didn't they say like it was too much of an issue? And so they're not selling that one, right? The Dragonfly is the one that people are running in, like the Oregon team, Cole Hawker and Cooper Tier. Those two, they ran in Dragonflies, didn't they? I thought that was the one. So I thought the Dragonflies were the exciting one. Ooh, Carla says, on the Saucony website, they accidentally put a leaked photo of the Speed 2 as a Kinvara 11 colorway. Oh, I wonder if to look for that. Didn't see that. I mean, I feel like there's very little they need to change about that shoe, except maybe like the weird plastic thing on the back. That thing that looked like a space badge from the future or something like that. I don't know what it is. If they get rid of that, then I think it'll be a much prettier shoe. But they don't need to change much on it. That's what I think. All right, let's get one more. And then I got to get going. Yeah, but it says space badge. Yeah, it just looked weird. There's just all this weird plastic on the back. I don't know. And Martha agrees too. That heel thing does look rather sci-fi. Yeah, see? I'm glad you guys see it too. And Eric's at MC1796 says, you can get a pair pretty easily now of the Dragonfly. Oh, yeah. Viperfly was the one which has gone all Batman, I think. Yeah, that one looked like the alien color of the Alpha Fly that had like that black and green. Yeah. All right. Ryan Loma says, I got my first speeds for my birthday yesterday. Well, happy birthday, Ryan. And my 8-year-old son said the heel piece was his favorite part. That's awesome. Very, very cool. All right. Let me answer this question real quick. Joe H says, the 4Runner 4.5, is it good? I think it's pretty good. The limitation that I didn't like of it is that I couldn't connect my foot pod to it. I have a Stride foot pod, and I couldn't connect my 4Runner 45 to it. If you want to do that, I might consider bumping up to the 4Runner 245. But if you're looking for a solid watch that gets you into the Garmin ecosystem that you could still use with an external heart rate monitor if you want, but does all the other things like GPS, pace, distance, that kind of stuff, it'll take care of all that. So it is a pretty good option. But I would pretty much recommend for most people. If you're looking at the 45, consider the 245. That might be the one that I would look at. All right. I think that's going to be it for today, everybody. Tomorrow, there's going to be no video because I didn't run today. So I guess I could have made a video today, kind of like a day in the life kind of thing, but I didn't think of that. So I don't have any footage for it. So no video tomorrow, but we'll do another live stream same time as today, 3 p.m. Central Time. Hopefully I'll see you guys there. In the meantime, be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.